this is Zach with Casual Conversation with Zachery Scicluna. Hope you're doing well. I wanted to talk to you today about how long this whole home buying process might look like. So some folks kind of come in and they think, hey, it might take a really long time or it might take a really short time. And it really depends on your unique goals and your unique scenario. So something to keep in mind is if you've got, if you got a different unique financial situation, that can add time to the process. So what we'll do is we'll cover a couple of more common lending scenarios, and we'll kind of give you a real world scenario on how long the loan process looks like. Not a loan process, but the loan, title, escrow, and going from beginning to end of buying and selling a home. So if you're going to be in the scenario of being able to do cash for a purchase, cash for a purchase, as silly as it sounds, as fast as you have the funds, you'll be able to transfer funds for a down payment, and upon transferring funds for a down payment, you'll be able to then proceed with the concept of getting the escrow and inspections done on a home, which can take a week. We'll just say it a week, or let's say it's a more rural property, so we'll say 10 days, because we have extra things to test around the house. So say it's day one, submit an offer, and we look good, and they accept the offer, and we start our inspection period. We'll go 10 days. And then at that point, everything looks good. We've negotiated anything further we needed to. Basically by day 11, or depending how you transfer funds, if you're very proactive, if you know things are looking good at the end of that inspection period, you could actually transfer the remaining funds or start the transfer, and you could be closed by day 12 or likely day 14. So if you're cash buying, an average traditional buy, a little bit more passively, not so aggressive, is 14 days. I've been blessed enough to help folks, and we've closed in a week on houses when it's cash buying. And then I've seen folks actually close in a few days because they get their offer accepted, they transfer all the money, and then it's as fast as the county can record. And so you're down to 3 or 4 days. So it can happen really quick, depending how you do things. The other side of it is going to be, let's just say, more of like a conventional loan. So 5% down or plus, or more, so 5, 10, 15, 20% down or more. And those loans, you submit an offer day one, and a traditional loan, there's different stages. So when you go to purchase a home, you could be pre-underwritten or just pre-approved, or a couple other nuances, or they share the same words, but you can either just have the lender who said, hey, yeah, your file looks good, or you can have the lender who actually pushed your file that looked good all the way to an underwriter, which is this final authority that really says, hey, the bank's going to be happy with us. As long as the property's at value, we should be good to go. And so if you're just pre-approved, the average conventional loan tends to take anywhere from 21 to 30 days. Pre-underwritten, that can actually get you down to like sometimes a 17 or 20 day close if you're really pushing it. And again, that dynamic has to do with your inspection period. So offer day one, we'll say a week for inspection period, or 10 days for inspection period. And then there's this appraisal period, as well as transferring of funds from the banks, closing disclosures, transferring of the remaining cash to close from you to that lender, to the title company and whatnot. And so all in all, it can add up pretty quickly. Days start trickling by really quick, but if you're a conventional loan, you can be anywhere from 17 to 30 days, definitely less than 30 days though. On average tends to be closer to 21 or 25. It tends to be the average rolling numbers, what a lot of folks will say. So again, that's the conventional loan side. You'll have FHA and VA, so first time home buyers, that's the FHA. And then there's the veterans loan programs, which are both great programs for folks getting into homes. They really lower that cost of entry when you go to purchase a home and have their own unique benefits. There are costs associated with some of them, FHA dynamic, but the VA is a great product if you qualify for that. I've got a number of lenders who specialize in the VA product specifically because there's so many unique things that you can be done with them. But with the FHA and VA, they tend to be closer to that 30-day threshold. And it just tends to be because they're just really going through things with a fine-tooth comb. Can folks close them sooner? Yes. That's the biggest thing. There's always exceptions to every rule. Yes, they can be closed sooner. But on average, technically speaking, 30 days seems to be that sweet marker on those conventional or the FHA and VA loan scenarios. And what does this all account for? This all accounts for if you're renting and you're going to buy a new home, how do you need to time out your end of your lease and moving into a new place? Do you need some overlap? Do you have a place to land for a few days in between potentially? How are you wanting to do that? What's your goal? What's the easiest process for you? So I can help you weigh all those out to your unique situation. But those are the initial thoughts on if you're doing cash, you can close as fast as a week. If you're doing a conventional loan, it tends to be between 17 and 25 days. And if you're doing an FHA or VA loan, plan for like 30 days. Some folks have said that's really quick, and it is pretty quick when you technically think about how fast you can change your living circumstances. Within 1 month or 2 or 3 pay periods, you can be in a whole new environment, which is pretty amazing depending what you're trying to achieve in your life and your own personal goals. Again, process, there's things called rent backs. So if you're selling a home, you can add this extra time period on where you can rent a house that you're selling, and it gives you a little bit of buffer to move into a new place or purchase the next place. On the flip side, if you're the buyer and you're buying a home, sometimes the seller will ask for a rent back, which is basically them saying, hey, I would like to just get all my proceeds. I would then, the proceeds from the sale of my home, I would then like to be able to pack up all my stuff now that the deal is officially done, and I'll move out now that the deal's done. In the meantime, some people give that away for free, that rent back period. Some people charge a daily breakdown of what your felt monthly cost is. They break it down per day and kind of bill that back to the seller out of convenience for them, but also convenience for you. It's a win-win in that scenario. It's all open for negotiation. So that's the cool thing. If you have a good realtor, real estate consultant like myself on your side, we can make sure we can get the best win-win for everybody, yourself and a seller, or the seller and a buyer, whatever your given circumstances is. And then on the investor front, timeline period-wise, it gets tricky because you might buy it in 7 days, but there might be a tenant in there. If it's vacant, sweet, no problem. Start whatever you're trying to achieve. That way your goals progress right along nice and easy. But if there's a tenant in there, the biggest dynamic you're going to have is what you're going to do with the tenant and how that relationship's going to occur. Whether it's something you need physical access to the property because you need to improve the property, whether it's to then re-rent it out or to sell it, it gets tricky quick. Again, I can help guide you through the process. If you have any questions, I'd be honored to help. But again, tentative thought process is within 1 month, you can be in a new living situation and in your next new home.